Hey guys, this is Treve Willis coming back to you live from Durham, North Carolina. I had a question today. One of my YouTubers asked me, after I posted something about side loaders and rear entry minivans, about the VPG-MV1, and I forgot to mention that I do have one in my fleet. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that just briefly. So with my company, Raleigh Durham Medical Transport Group, we have a 2014 MV1 VPG. We bought this one about 2 years ago. I like it. Actually, it is one of my favorite vehicles. It's a rugged, heavy-duty vehicle. It rides good. It's a minivan. That's basically all it is an ADA minivan. However, we've had the vehicle, like I said, 2 years, and the vehicle, like I said, it has its pros and cons to it. It's a strong vehicle, air ride on it, side entry. However, I have put bariatric clients up there with the wheelchairs, a little wide, not too wide, and they do just fine on it. It's just the fact you're going to have to pull the front seat up and maneuver it, in place and lock it down. A lot of the clients that I have in my company, Private Pay, they like the VPG. And the reason why they like the VPG is because of the big windows and how they can be in position at the front seat and see out the window. Another thing the VPG I like is the fact it's unique. I'm not going to say I was the first private company in Raleigh to have one, but I never seen another private company have one. The only place in Raleigh that had one was the city of Cary, and that was public transportation. They had about 30 of them. So with that being said, so a lot of times, anytime we would go somewhere with it, doctor's appointments, people was like, hey, what is that? Never seen that before. It looks weird. It's a nice looking vehicle. It's ugly, whatever the case may be. But a lot of people thought it was cool. I wanted something that was going to stand out compared to other companies, and the VPG did exactly what I thought it was going to do. It was going to stand out. But the VPG, they don't make them anymore. They stopped production on them some years ago. So with that being said, it's harder. The downside to the VPG is it's harder to get parts for. It's extremely hard. I have to go through some companies to be able to get parts for it, and some of the parts are used. As soon as I bought the VPG, about 4 months later, the the rear end had an issue, and I couldn't find anybody to work on it. So I had found this guy. He was a cool Hispanic guy, and he actually worked on it and got it, got the rear end repaired in the back. However, we got it back after 2 days, and then the fuel tank started leaking. It started leaking gas out. So I couldn't find a fuel tank anywhere. The only place I found the fuel tank was used. It was like 4 hours away. So I had to drive all the way to the mountains to get a fuel tank, got the fuel tank put in, and we have not had a problem with that minivan since. We had one minor issue with it. I had dropped the client off at the doctor, and the starter went out. You're probably wondering, like, is it worth it? Yeah, it's still worth it, but the starter went out. So you're not going to find parts for that minivan at AutoZone or Advance Auto, Pep Boys, or O'Reilly. It's very limited you can find parts for it. A lot of times when you go to O'Reilly's or Pep Boys, they're going to be like, what is that? But it's in their system. The VPG is in the system at many parts stores, but nobody's going to carry any parts for it. Except for like windshield wipers and, common stuff. Another thing that concerns me about the VPG is the fact that it does it to me. Now, I don't know about you other MV1 owners. The VPG does it cool well to me. And I think it's due to the fact of the windows that the van has. It has real big windows, so I was thinking about tinting the windows on it to see if we can get it cooler in there. But it cools, and you can feel it cool, but it's not cold. It's not like ice cold like the Caravans we have. And then too, another thing with the VPG, I went to get an alignment, and it's hard to find ball joints, tie rods for it. So it's good that, because when I first bought the vehicle for our fleet, my initial plan was to buy one and then buy 5 more. And, the guy that I bought the vehicle from, he bought it from the Department of Transportation from Maryland, the public transit system. And he had a whole lot of them out there. And I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna go back and buy some more from him. However, it didn't work out that way. I bought one, and then, I was gonna wait like a month or two, and then the rear end had an issue. So I said, nah, the parts are hard to find. So I only have one. I thought about getting rid of it, selling it, but I think I'm gonna hang on to it because it's still unique. But it's good to have other vehicles in your company just in case something happens to that. You won't be stuck with a whole bunch of VPGs, MV1s. But the VPG MV1s have 4.6 motors in there, the same as a Lincoln Town Car, Crown Victoria, and they drive fantastic. They got a lot of power to it. It's a great ADA van. I love it. It's weird. It's weird looking. Looks like a London taxi. But I enjoy it. It's a fun vehicle. But that's my wrap about the VPG MV1. If you have any other questions, feel free to message me or hit me up. Let me know what's going on. But I just want to give you my little input on it because there was a YouTuber that asked me about it. And I'm thankful he brought it up because that was in my to-do list to talk about the MV1. I forgot all about it. But the MV1 is a nice ADA van, but just do your homework on it. Have a good day, guys. Take care in the transportation world.